Well, there. Good evening, my friends and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen here. Great to see you. So, tonight is Wednesday, January 12th. And for those of you that are new, well, every week from Saturday till the Friday of the week, usually I have a 7 day, um, call it mini class stream about a very unique and interesting topic that most people will want to learn about. It will help you become a better version of yourself and help other people become better versions of themselves. Now, here's my challenge. If you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, well, welcome back. It is great to have you back with us. We're talking about the brain. How does the brain work? We weren't given a manual, right, with how to figure out how to jumpstart the brain. That's really what we're trying to do. So, what I'd like you to do right now, whether you're on Facebook, John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur, whether you're on my LinkedIn profile page, John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur YouTube page, whether you're on my Twitch page, my Twitter, or my Periscope page, show me some love and comment below. What are you trying to get your brain to do right now? And then tag some of your friends, your colleagues, and your associates. And remember to share that at the end of the cast. So let's get right into this. So how do we jump start our brain? That's a mouthful. Um, so the things that you can do to jumpstart your brain is to get enough sleep. That's number one. Where we talked about getting enough sleep. Um, People say don't have caffeine after 2 p.m. Some people say don't use electronics. I won't go that far. Eat a healthy dinner at least 2 hours before bedtime. Don't eat half hour before you're going to go to sleep. Shut down work at least 1 hour before bedtime, if you can. Start with gratitude. When you wake up, before you go to sleep, drink plenty of water. You've heard me say this before. Get moving early. Now, the thing about our brain is when our brain feels really good and we have that dopamine rush, you all know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, get yourself a bar of dark chocolate and start eating it. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. What if you could feel like that every minute at a time? That'd be great. Well, later on in the week, we're going to teach you how to anchor successful thoughts into your brain. That's coming later in the week, so you definitely don't want to miss that. When we think about our brain, and we think about all the things our brain can do, remember there's parts of our brain that run our body without us even having to think about it. And then to know that there's a small part of our brain, it's a pretty big part actually, when I say a small part, 95%. That's what's running our thoughts and our emotions and our actions every day. Now, the thing is, you may not be having the life that you want at the moment. I get it. You might have some challenges. It might be relationships. It might be money. It might be work. It might be just health. It could be anything. And you're so frustrated because you have to deal with this. Maybe it's a legal matter. I mean, it could be anything. And I want to tell you something. The most important thing with your brain is to realize that where you are right now is because of what you did in the past. You might say, John, I didn't do anything in the past. I just got here. Well, maybe you just got here, but there are programs that are in your brain. And these programs are running every single day and night, even when you're sleeping. And they're putting you on a path either to success or a path of failure. Not nice to say, but I'm being truthful here. I also feel that sometimes people get so close to what they want and then they give up. They give up because, I don't know, they have a bump in the road. So, what's a bump in the road? Maybe you're doing something, but there's a financial emergency that comes up, or something happens in your home, or something you have to pay for, or something unexpected, right? Something that you don't want. or maybe an old friend visits that you really don't want to talk to. Hopefully, you don't have any of those. But the point is that everyone is not resilient. You see, we're all going to get punches thrown at us. It's not a matter of if, okay, and when, but it's the real question of how do we handle those punches we're thrown at us? Okay. Don't get angry. Try not to get upset. I know that's hard. Try not to let it hurt or hinder your health or your attitude. Realize that wherever you are at the moment, it's temporary. You could be a lot further than you are now. And so, what I'm here to explain to you is that when you make it a habit to keep doing this, you might say, "Oh, John, I've been doing this. I've been thinking positive thoughts since January 1st." Well, if you've been thinking them since January 1st, you got to do a lot more than that because you see, when you put your mind in this state, opportunities are going to come past you. They've been by you in the past, but you haven't been open to them because you haven't been paying attention to them because your RAS, your reticular acting system is saying, that's not for me. But now you're going to be attuned to them. And so, if you've been being positive since January 1st, well, kudos. Um, be positive some more. Do the end of the month. And you see, when you start to notice and celebrate something, I had this happen today. I actually hired a new person, and this person seemed to work out pretty well from the interview, and I think they're going to do well. Celebrate everything in your life. Today, I found a new restaurant, and I went there, and they had this great bread, and they had this great pasta visual soup, and then I had this great piece of pizza, and I enjoyed it. How many times you go to a restaurant and you just garf the food down? Like you just like, you just hope you don't do that. And you eat because you need to live. But you do it in such a manner that it's not something that's just kind of something you do. You did it more like how can I say, like a route action. So you're going through the motions, but you're not feeling it. You're going through the steps of the emotions, but you're not feeling them. You're just kind of like rolling with them. Okay. But you're not doing anything. Enjoy each moment of life. There are going to be some people in life that I got to be honest with you, they're not going to celebrate your victories. They're not going to give you chances in life. But you know what? You got to be strong and you got to realize that you don't need to be bitter or nasty to any of those people. What you need to do is realize that where you are right now, say it right now to yourself, it's temporary. And very soon, you're going to be out of this situation. Maybe it could be with a landlord, it could be your company that you don't like, whatever it is, you're going to be out of the situation. See, so many people get bogged down by the situation that they don't have time to think about where they're going in life. They don't have time to think about it. How many of you out there actually were grateful for everything that happened to you today? I bet only a handful of you guys and ladies were actually grateful for everything that happened to you today. You got up in the morning, right? I know I got up in the morning. I was grateful to be alive. Had breakfast, then went and took a shower, did some of my morning exercise routines, and I felt great. Got in my car, turned on the heat because it was a little bit cold, drove to where I needed to go, and I felt amazing. And my morning went well. And there was an appointment that was supposed to happen, but there was a miscommunication on the time. So no big deal. It didn't cause my day to get off track. How many of you have ever stubbed your toe in the morning when you get up? I'm sure this has happened to you. And I mentioned this before if you followed into my other tracks. If you stub your toe in the morning, right? Or you hit yourself or you hit your arm. I don't want you to do that, but if you did, and now you're suddenly like, oh my gosh, I just hit my foot, and you're like complaining. And then you get in the shower, and then maybe you're not paying attention, and the water's too hot, or you bump your elbow or something, and it just keeps going from there. And then I don't know, you go get breakfast and you spill the milk, or you break a glass, or whatever it is. And then maybe you get in your car and now there's a traffic jam or there's a light that's out. You get to your office and everyone's waiting there early. They're never early. And they're all waiting and looking at you, wondering when you're going to be ready. And the whole day just keeps going and going and going like this. And why does it go like that? Because you're spiraling. You see, when you hit your toe or your elbow or your arm or whatever extremity you hit, you have to recognize that that happened. It's a bump in the road. If you were to drive in a parking lot, you've a lot of seen times you'll see these bumps, right? And you have to slow down. But when you go over the bump, and let's say you went over the bump a little bit fast, you shouldn't do that, but let's say you did. You feel it. Like, oh, it was a bump. Oh, wow. You quickly, realize that you got to slow down. It's not good for the car. It's not safe. And it was a bump in the road. And you move on. The problem with the people that stub their toe, most people, or hit themselves, is they actually find out too late that they're just putting more thoughts about what else negatively could happen in their life. Instead of when you stub your toe saying, okay, I stubbed my toe. All right. Hurt for a second. I'll get over it. The rest of my day is going to be great. And say that to yourself. Going to have a great shower. I'm going to have a great breakfast. I stubbed my toe. It's no big deal. I've had sometimes in the morning, maybe you've been somewhere, maybe you knock something over. And that could be another situation, even though you didn't stub yourself, but you could still have that negative emotion because you knocked a picture down or you knocked books over or whatever it is. It's a bump in the road. Your brain is paying attention to how you perceive reality. If you suddenly tell your brain, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to make it through the day. I can't do this. I hit my foot. I bumped my leg. But I think it's really important that we understand that we have a choice in life. Now, some people you talk to be like, what are you talking about? Because they're negative. I've had a belief and a policy for many years. If someone's going to be negative around me, I basically ask them to knock it off in a nice way. If they continue, I'm like, hey, enough's enough. The third time, I just leave. So a lot of these themes that I talk about keep coming up. There's a reason for that. How can you get your brain on point? Well, one thing is to focus, to laser focus what you want to do with your day. Okay? When your brain starts seeing that you're grateful and you're able to use what it's got right now, it's going to be able to do more with what you have, and you're going to even be more happy. The people that stub their toe or their hit or maybe even a relationship, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. My boyfriend broke up, my girlfriend broke up with me. Get over it. Move on. You see, some people are not in your life to be there forever. They're there for one reason, to help you learn a lesson. Maybe that lesson was to realize that you're lovable and you can be loved and there's other love out there. Maybe the lesson is to teach you that you're smart. Maybe the lesson is just to build your self-confidence up. Whatever the relationship was there for, the person was there for, whether it was platonic, business, or, a personal relationship, when that happens and it breaks, don't fight to bring it back if it's not meant to be. Sometimes people are here for those reasons, and they're here for one main reason. You know what that is, ladies and gentlemen? It's to help us each become better versions of ourselves and to help other people become better versions of themselves. I remember a time, this was quite a few years ago. I was just getting out of college. And I remember taking a part time job with a government agency. And it was a lot less than what I was worth. But I said, let me take it. It's my first job, other than my own consulting stuff I was doing part time. And I realized that they weren't treating me right, but I didn't complain. I just asked, I'm not going to get religious here, but I am religious. I asked who I talk to all the time, but you can talk to your higher self, wherever you want. And I said, please, just get me out of here. If I'm not supposed to be here, get me out of here. I'm not happy with the way that people are treating me. And this is negative energy. How do I get out of here? And it was about 2 or 3 days before the Thanksgiving holiday. And about a week after Thanksgiving, which should have been right in the Christmas holidays, I was going to be fully vested with a pension from them. And so these couple days before, I went up to the HR person, and I knew what I was going to do. And I knew by going up there that I was going to lose my pension. But I said, you know what? There's something more important to me than getting a pension, and that is to do what I love in life. So I walked up, and I'm just going to use a lady's name. It's not her name. Let's call her Mary. That wasn't her name, though. And I said, hi, Mary. You have a second? Yeah, sure, John. Came in there, and this was one of these people that was very phony. They talk this way, and then when you left, they talked out the other side of the mouth, or they talked about you behind your back. And the kind of person that if you'd come back to them and say, hey, I heard such and such mention, oh, I never said anything. And this is the director of HR. So, of course, they've got to be like prim and proper, right? So I said to Mary, Mary, I just want to say thank you. And she says, oh, you're welcome. Thank you for what? I said, thank you. Thank you for helping me become the best version of myself and allowing me to help you become the best version of yourself. She says, John, what are you talking about? I said, Mary, today is my very last day at your organization. You're quitting? I'm moving on. I've realized that I need to move on to do other things in my life. And you need to find somebody that can work within your parameters. I'm not that guy. It's been fun. I learned a lot with you and your staff and all the many buildings you have. They had schools. And so I want to tell you thank you. So I'll be here till 4 o'clock, finish up my day, say goodbye to everyone. And again, thank you. It's been fun. Been a fun 4 or 5 years where it was. And she says, you're going to lose your vestment. I said, I know. And she was shocked that I was willing to sacrifice that vestment and leave the company. I also remember going back to my desk. And the one person that was my manager, who wasn't technically savvy at all, but he supposedly was my manager. He supposedly was supposed to know everything, but he didn't. And he always pretended that he did. And the day that I was wrapping up, all he said to me was goodbye and take care. Didn't say thank you for all the things I did, all the times I helped him. But I wasn't looking for that. So that job showed up to help me realize that I have more potential. But if I still stayed there today, maybe I would have gotten a few dollars more an hour. I would have never realized my real worth. I would have never gotten into producing over 40 hours of video production a week and being a producer and having 4 companies. I would have never gotten into that. So sometimes when a situation occurs in your life and you might say, gee, how am I going to do that? Just realize if things start to fall into place, it's meant to be. So the way you jumpstart your brain is to make sure you stay with positive energy, positive people, and you keep looking beyond at where you want to go. But always be grateful and humble for how far you've become and who you've become it with and how they've helped shape your life and to help you become, yes, a better version of yourself. When I started that job 5 years before, basically, and I remember just being so interested in everything. But as the job progressed and I started realizing how they were disrespecting me, and you sign a log, and I remember driving to one school, and it was a hot day, and I think I stopped to get a bottle of water or something on the way, which literally was 2 minutes. I got back and I signed in, and they said, "Where were you?" I left that school. I came here. No, you weren't. What do you mean? Oh, Mike saw you pull in the parking lot at such and such. Yeah, I pulled at a 7-Eleven. I just got a bottle of water. Oh, you're not supposed to do that on our time. I took 2 minutes, just 2 minutes to get myself a bottle of water. It was really hot. I parked my car. I had to walk almost a mile to the one school. You can't do that on our time. And I said, okay. I said, I'm sorry. I'll never do that again. And I started to realize that this isn't for me, but I didn't quit yet because I didn't know if that was a fleeting emotion or what that was. And then you had phony people there. They would give you gifts, but you had to watch because they were never there to help you. They were there to abuse you and use you like you couldn't imagine. And I knew the happiest day and time was when I left that office, got into my car, and either went to see a client or came home and knew that I had at least 5-6 hours of peace and then sleep before I had to see them again. So when things go in your life a certain way, you're not pleased with them, don't be bitter about it. You can tell people, hey, this is just temporary, or I'm not pleased with this and I'm working to get out of here. Nothing wrong with that. It's not being rude. There are a lot of people in life that are never going to be happy with where they are and what they do. And they try to, how can I say, project their emotions, their dissatisfaction, their anger, because they don't like what they're doing, onto you. And that's just not healthy. Our brain picks up on this. It says, okay, that's what you want. More behavior like that, I'll go ahead and give it to you. You see, when you tell your brain, I'm looking for this or I'm looking for that, I'll give an example. I'm looking for a new client tomorrow. Great. Be alert for a new client or something like that. And be ready. Be ready for the opportunity. People think that if you just think something, it's going to happen. It's not magic. But what it does do is it conditions your brain to now be in a state so that you're able to be aware of when a potential opportunity crosses your path, which you may have missed in the past because you weren't open to that possibility. See, our brain works in possibilities. If the brain gives you something and you don't like it, take it. See where it goes. Explore it. Write it down. Because if you keep telling your brain you don't like it or you don't like something, your brain's going to give up being creative on you. And you're going to lose that insight and you're going to lose that ability to bring out the genuineness of who you are. Leaders are not born, they're made. But most people that want to become a leader believe they can't because they don't have what other people have and they weren't born with it. Nobody was born with it. The only difference with some people is they just have more of a passion to get started and taste the Kool-Aid or the apple pie of being a leader. But we all get to the same place. So what I want to wrap up with tonight is how do we jumpstart our brain? So we jumpstart our brain by creating images, emotions, feelings. You know the best thing to do? Create them as if they're in the past and you already enjoyed them. That way, they'll be in the future again. You see, when you project something from the past, your mind and body is able to connect with it because, oh, it already happened. But your body doesn't know it didn't happen. When you project something and say, oh, this is what I want down the road. Okay. So, for example, let's say you want a new home or a new car. You can say, gee, I remember when I had that car a few years ago. I remember what it was like driving that car. And it's going to create, yes, that dopamine effect in your brain. When you get connected with your brain and you get on purpose, the world is going to open up for you, I promise. People are going to want to help you. Opportunities are going to come across your plate. And as you get better at this, it's going to feel like play. And I've said this before. When you learn how to creatively play in your life, you'll never work a day again in your life. And when you creatively play, oh yes, and you happen to bring money in doing it, well, that's just icing on the cake, isn't it? I always tell people, do what it is you're passionate about. The money will follow. But when you're creative and you're playful, oh my gosh, it opens up so many possibilities in your brain that get this electrical storm going of impulses that just excites you and motivates you not only to get up in the morning, but I got to tell you right now, if every morning you're in bed and you can't get up without the alarm clock, you don't have a life on purpose. You're not enjoying the life that you have. You're living a life because you have to, but you're not living your destiny. When you get up in the morning and you know, even if it's cold in the morning or it's 7 degrees or whatever it is, or -7, you know your life is on purpose. And there's so much you're going to do today. And that's why you got to get out of bed. You got to get breakfast. You got to have a shower or take a shower first or whatever. And get so charged. That's what it's all about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have had an amazing time with you tonight. It is always a privilege, a pleasure, an extreme honor to be with you every single night here. Remember to share this out. Go to youtube.com, type in my name, John space E space MORLEY space serial entrepreneur. Look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. Below that, click on the link to PayPal and make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new software, new equipment, new staff, and even new facilities to bring you the most positive, motivational, jaw-dropping content available in the world. That if you just take a tiny listen, I promise you, will improve the quality of your life and everyone else around you, and thus help you and others become better versions of yourself. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I look forward to coming back to you tomorrow, which is Thursday night, and then we have Friday. And on Friday, I'm going to teach you how to anchor. I'm not going to share anything about it until Friday. So you're going to have to come back. And what I teach you on Friday, if you take it and you practice it every single day, your life's going to change. Have a great night, everyone. Take care.